It's a rare condition, so heart's an opportunity. It's the bigger love of the family.
Yeah, drop a 50 bag for the knew it was smoke. Really shooting your gang, that's peace, brother. Y'all ain't getting shit shot, nigga. Can't listen to the stick talking false.
Back at it like a crack addict, automatic like a fomatic, built from tragedy, made from static. Perfect Timing Podcast in the Perfect Timing Podcast studios with episode 2 of KDot in your ass. And it's just sad, man. This shit is just horrible, man. I mean, breaking it down by the lyrics, man, is just horrible, man. And then what are we listening to, bro? I mean, why? I mean, somebody on that light-skinned nigga panel said Kendrick did him in with the tempo. Drake lost the tempo. Drake lost on every level. But I like when that brother said that Drake lost the tempo, that Kendrick set the tempo of the battle. So we're going to get into Rodney on Joe Cooley. But how I'm starting off today is this is supposed to be the best song that Drake put out in this battle. I think Drake put out anything in this battle because he didn't write none of this shit. Do you understand we living in fairy tale land? You know what I'm saying? It's Baba Yaga. We in fairy tale land. These light-skinned, self-loving, non-FBA clowns out here defending the cat. It ain't even who you defend. It's like you claiming a block that ain't your block. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad. Everybody out here defending this clown. You know what I'm saying? Literally clown. When I say clown, I mean clown. Literally clown. Anybody out here defending this clown, you are a clown too. Look at him. He is a clown. And he thinks the American Negro FBA ADOS experience is something that he could benefit from and parody. If you don't see that, then you're a self-loving, light-skinned fool. Absolute FOOL fool. If you can't see what's being done to you. And in episode 2, we're going to break down more of why it is that we even have this clown. Why is this clown was ever allowed to get to the point of where he got to, that where Kendrick had to knock him down a notch. And I've got this picture up so that people can't say that you're calling him a clown and it's unfair. It's not fair for you to refer to him as a clown. But what do you see on your screen? I see a clown. I see a clown. I don't care what on the left or the right. This is both clown face and this is both a parody. This is a person who doesn't possess respect for the American Negro experience. From my ancestors who had to pick cotton on plantations, he do not understand, nor does he respect that experience. And that is getting into the crux of this debate and argument. And when you hear Kendrick Lamar say, I don't want to hear you say nigga no more, this is what Kendrick is talking about. The parody. In the Compton experience, in the Bay Area experience, you cooking up, but ain't no be legit, no 40 water. You ain't never cooked up nothing in no boiling water, boy. You ain't never made it come back and lock, boy. Hit the block, boy. Then flip a candy toy, boy. You don't know this life. The basis of which you speak, you need to show homage and respect, clown. And I mean clown, and I mean clown, and I mean clown. What are we listening to? What complexion or pigmentation or whatever your malfunction is? How could you say this was good? We don't even listen to shit like this. There's nothing else in your playlist with this type of beat selection. This is clown shit. This is why Kendrick controlled the tempo the whole time. When he switches the beat, this ain't that Travis Scott shit from Texas. This ain't that down south hot fire that Metro Boomin and Future and Travis Scott producing. This some old European, Canadian, other type tempo bullshit. We don't like that other album. We don't even play music like this. How could y'all not be honest with the fact that we don't even listen to shit like this?
So-called niggas, wish one of my so-called niggas need a sheriff on a clip.
It sound like some European drill. It sound like some wannabe. I wish a drill artist would just be. It sound like a wannabe drill record. And everything this clown comedian parody does is gonna come off that way because he ain't never did a drill. He don't know shit about a drill, so he has to parody the drill. He has to be the actor. He has to be the clown. He has to be the thespian. He has to wear the mask because he don't know about our life. And you clowns want to qualify a clown, someone who does not even respect your culture of which you came. This ain't FBA. This ain't ADOS. Name one FBA ADOS. Name somebody from the D, because Detroit putting out the hottest shit right now. Shout out to the D. I'm on fire like Skilla Baby today. I'm cooking. I said I'm on fire like Skilla Baby today. I'm cooking. I said the Detroit doing the hottest shit right now. And they got that shit from SOB RBE, rapping over that cameo on that 80s shit. And they call it ghetto tech. But shout out to the Bay Area and that SOB RBE and that nigga named The Boy who been killing that shit rapping over them 80s beats. Fast gassing that shit the whole goddamn time. That's the hottest shit right now. It's not this shit.
Always knew I had to smoke y'all niggas. Good kid, man.
Clowning with the goddamn gun sounds. Stop. What you know about the gun sounds? What you know about the murder cap? That's why Pusha T shattered on your ass. You know what I remember Pusha T when I was a kid? I remember the Section 8 mob. I remember the Section 8 mob, and I remember growing up in Oakland and Richmond and San Francisco, and I remember these cities having something called the murder cap. EPA, Small Town Cemetery, had the murder cap. Oakland had the murder cap. Richmond had the murder cap. And so I seen on the TV a place I never heard of, Washington, D.C., and I heard they was getting money in Washington, D.C., selling big, you know what I'm saying? At the White House, and then my cousins and peoples went out there just to experience how it was getting down. They was getting down, getting money out there. You know what I'm saying? 24/7, man. We made that term up in the Bay Area, but they was getting money 24/7, man, in D.C., right? So when I first saw the clips in them Gucci suits, man, my reference for the clips in them Gucci suits was the Section 8 mob, the Section 8 mafia who did an interview with Fab Five Freddy when the DC had the murder cap with them fake ass gunshots and that fake ass drill beat from this clown. That's why Pusha T was able to decimate you easily. That's why KDot was able to decimate you easily, because you don't even know the references behind this shit. Just like you didn't know who Rodney O and Joe Cooley was. That's why you got to go to Atlanta to get some soul. You got to go to Memphis to get some soul. You got to go to Atlanta to get black. You got to go to Memphis to get black and get soul, because he has no reference for the soul. He has no reference for the P, for the funk. But you don't hear me, yo. Boom. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah.
But you don't hear me, though. You don't hear me, though. You don't hear me though, it's a title, bro. I'm calling money when I slam down my domino. Fever in the funk house, yeah. Say that you can fake the O. I got a New York critic in a chokehold. He dissed my record cause he didn't like my vocals. Now I'm showing him the meaning of logo.
Yeah. But you don't hear me though. Shout out to Rodney O and Joe Cooley, man. Rodney O, Joe Cooley, check out them brothers, man. All right, man, if your daddy didn't have a Suzuki, man, you can't be in there, man. How could you support Drake? But I know a lot of you cats, man, your daddy didn't have a Suzuki Samurai, man. You feel me? If your daddy didn't have a Suzuki Samurai, I could understand why, you know what I'm saying, you feel the way you feel. If your daddy didn't have a Suzuki Samurai, you might feel some type of way. You feel what I'm saying? But if you could relate to this picture right here, if your daddy had a Suzuki Samurai, Zapco 415s, you know what I'm saying? If he had Gazelles, you know what I'm saying, with his glasses like this, you know what I'm saying, some Cartier glasses, some Gazelles, some DMCs. You blind, you can't see, you need to wear some glasses like DMC. If you understand, in his biggest song, Kendrick Lamar says, "Once upon a time, we was in chains." Well, listen to me as I tell you a story about once upon a time, we was in chains, right? And when we was in chains, we were told we couldn't read and we couldn't worship unless it was a certain religion in a certain book. So we were given a book, right? And we were told not to read it, and we were given a God to worship that did not reflect our own person. Right? It was not the same complexion, and the story didn't benefit us. The story told us that we should be good slaves, that we shouldn't fight for our freedom. But we embodied these stories, right? And we turned them into something that would benefit us and that would later fuel us to fight for our freedom based on those stories that we learned. But shout out to Drake and listen to what Kendrick had to say. Once upon a time, we was in chains. To everybody who hasn't seen the Tariq Nasheed movie about the origins of hip hop, understand what Kendrick was saying to Drake and to all of you who don't understand the story about the origins of hip hop and why it's important to FBA ADOS, because once upon a time we was in chains, and when we were in chains we were not allowed to read, and we were given a language. We were not allowed to speak our language. We were given different names. We were not allowed to call it. We were not allowed to say, "I'm Kunta Kinte." No, you Chicken George. We were not allowed to go by our names. So we were not allowed to praise in the way we were accustomed to praising. We were giving new gods, new religion. So we developed a new praise based on our culture, Kai Sinet. And you know that as the gospel, the Baptist church, where we would sing loudly and praise and catch the Holy Ghost and dance and speak in tongues. And from that generated a certain type of music. That music at a certain megahertz would make people jump up, dance, donate, and feel something called the Holy Ghost. It would make you want to move. The megahertz, the frequency, and the voices of those Negro people from the South who had been through pain, who had seen their mothers and fathers ripped from them, ripped limb by limb. I mean, literally ripped limb by limb, literally beaten in front of them, beaten flesh off of them. That's what that sound you hear with Mahalia Jackson, Aretha Franklin. These women had witnessed horrors. Bodies beaten, battered, taken, stolen, beloved. That's what's so unique about the music. That's why no one can argue the originality. That's why no one can say there's plantations everywhere, but there was, and people want to say, well, everybody was a slave. But nobody went through chattel slavery. You hear Tucker Carlson, you hear a lot of white men saying, well, I don't understand because we were all once slaves. But what he doesn't qualify and say that no one went through chattel slavery. No one but the American Negro. No one but the American Negro was stripped of his name, his religion, and then placed in chains, sold naked on the block for sex, for hard labor. Nobody went through chattel slavery. Nobody was whooped with whips. Nobody was castrated in front of their wives and children to decimate their opinion. That still exists today. See, what they don't tell you about being enslaved, about being prisoners of war, is nobody else went through chattel slavery. It's important that I tell you that it's a difference between what Tucker Carlson tells you about slavery and what happened to us, and Drake not understanding why Kendrick and Rick Ross called them out, while Pusha T called them out on this picture. Why it's still up on the screen even though you may not like it, because nobody else went through chattel slavery. And because nobody else went through chattel slavery, nobody else could create the gospel. No one else could sing like Mahalia Jackson because they hadn't felt that pain. Aretha Franklin. And then you ask, why is he laying this foundation? Because from Aretha Franklin, from Mahalia Jackson came what you know as hip hop, because Aretha Franklin and those powerful, powerful people who could sing this pain, who could articulate our oppression, make you get up, move, make you give the few dollars you had in your pocket and donate. That music was powerful. They start singing about something else besides praising God. They start singing about dancing, having fun, and dating and having sex. And the pushback was this tonality, this style that we developed in the South due to our oppression, which galvanized us to fight back for our freedom, should not be used to make white people do the huckabuck. Should not be used to make white people dance and make money off of our pain. This was the pushback. See, it's not discussed. If you don't discuss what happened, then you don't understand why hip hop was so rebellious in the beginning and not now, and why we have a Drake. I'm getting to it. You're just gonna have to listen or not listen, but I'm gonna tell this story because I've been wanting to tell this story. So you get people like Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles break away from the church, but they possess the ability to sing these notes and play this megahertz to get people to move. They start off in juke joints and they realize, white people realize that this is something powerful and new, that this is more than music. Because when you hear this, you can't sit still. And they want to know what it was. But see, it started in the Negro church. It's part of the Negro experience. It was a gift that God gave us to move us, to galvanize us. And then it got manipulated. So now you have Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles singing and dancing, going out on dates, having a good time. And people are then, black people now are actually, and you can't argue, after so much pain and oppression, they wanted to sing and dance. They wanted to have a good time, and I believe they deserve to do so. So black people began to sing and dance and moving and gyrating, creating dances. The jitterbug, the chicken, the Watusi. A wop babaloo man, a wop bamboo, to the fruity, on Rudy. To the fruity, on Rudy. To the fruity, on Rudy. A wop bambaloo man, a wop bamboo. Got a girl named Daisy. She almost drive me crazy. Got a girl, hell named Daisy. She almost drive me crazy. She rock me to the west, y'all. Yes, indeed. She know how to love me. Gratitude to the fruity, on Rudy. To the fruity, on Rudy. A wop babaloo man, a wop bamboo. They couldn't sit still, bro. And when you hear wop bambaloo bam, wop bamboo, how can you not hear they want effects? Some Daz effects. Snap a necks for some coming this the fushikins. How can you hear a wop bambaloo bam, a wop bamboo, and not hear a bump skilly bump bump? I got the rump up at the dump. I got the FIFA, a fo about what? A bump skilly bump. But the big three ain't never heard DOS effects. They ain't heard Rodney O and Joe Cooley. Do you think they've heard DOS effects? They want effects. Some DOS effects. Snap a neck for some live effects. They want effects. Bump skilly bump. A wop bambaloo bam, a wop bamboo. So what you get is you get this music, this powerful music. You get individuals, this is not the first time this happened. So you get this powerful music that makes black people galvanize and move. See, everybody doesn't sing about dancing and going out to date though. Some people like Marvin Gaye said, "What's going on?" Some people like James Brown said, "Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud." And it made you move. It made you think. So when you had this powerful music that was able to galvanize the people, and you had people like J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI who had the fear of the Black Messiah and wanted to control these mechanisms that generated Black mobility, the things that galvanized and moved these people in positive ways. This music, you know, during COVID, they outlawed chanting. So who's the first Drake? So one of the most popular Drakes before Eminem is Elvis Presley, ladies and gentlemen. So you had Chuck Berry, and if you don't know the story, just like Drake had ghostwriters, people who dress him. If you don't know, in the beginning, even Barack Obama was forced to come head to head with racism when Trayvon Martin was murdered. And people didn't like the speech that Barack Obama gave, but Barack Obama told a story of being in the elevator, being the head of the law firm, and a poor white woman clutching her purse, and Barack Obama feeling inside that he could buy and sell this white woman, but she was still scared of him. And he wanted people in America to know that black men experience racism, that he as a black man has experienced racism, and that he refused to be silent during this time when Drake was actually silent. Drake was silent on Trayvon Martin. I don't want to hear you say Ninja no more, Drake. Drake was silent on Tamir Rice. I don't want to hear you say Ninja no more, Drake. Drake was silent on George Floyd. We don't want to. Drake was silent on the brother who got choked to death over cigarettes in New York. Drake was silent over every black man who was murdered and abused by police during the BLM protests and riots, when it would be different if he were not the #1 hip-hop spokesman for Black lives in America. This would be different. Then we would not hold him to a standard. Then this question would not be fair. But Drake says he's the best. Drake says he's the GOAT. Then you cannot be silent if you're the voice of Black America when we are being murdered in the goddamn streets. Let's break down the lyrics the way the big three of media could never break them down. Why he called Drake a colonizer. Why Rick Ross called Drake a white boy. Why he said, I don't want to hear you say nigga no more. He has been silent. He can no longer be the voice of Black America because he's never been the voice of Black America, and we taking it back. Little Baby had to say something. T.I. had to say something. Every Negro who was touched. Dave Chappelle created a special called 8 Minutes where he cried on stage. And he talked about that white man putting his knee on George Floyd's back for 8 fucking minutes. And it would be okay if you were not the head of hip hop, because what hip hop is Tupac Machiavelli. Hip hop is Ice Cube. Hip hop is the voice of the oppressed Negro people of America. And you had no right to stay silent and claim that positionality. I'm saying it here today. This is what these lyrics mean. And it hasn't been discussed because it's not going to come out of the mouth of non-ADOS big three media. This is why you don't have ADOS at the head of media in the hip hop. Because they would have to be honest about what hip hop is. You know what the white boys are going to, you know what the big three are going to say? Hip hop has changed. Hip hop is no longer the voice of the oppressed Negro in America, because those non-ADOS individuals at the head of the hip hop big three, they think blacks have privilege. They're so caught up in their wannabe black, wannabe ADOS, want to be able to say the N-word. They think blacks have privilege. Charlemagne teaches academics that blacks have privilege. That blacks are not being victimized in America. So why should Drake speak on this? Why should Drake question his career? Drake has never risked anything for you, ADOS America. Drake does not love you, ADOS America. He's never put shit on the line. And when it comes down to the worst time, after BLM, who do you see Drake with? You see Drake with Sexy Red. So Drake never has an opinion on BLM. What's happened to the status of ADOS America? The wealth gap, reparations, the color of money, politics, the first black president. Drake is able to skirt all of these things while being the #1 hip hop artist. It's a perversion. It's a perversion. Nipsey Hussle, when he was asked about the song he did with YG protesting Donald Trump, he said, hip hop, he said, YG is a genius. And hip hop has always been revolutionary music. Not just Tupac, not just Nipsey Hussle and YG, not just the X-Clan, not just Public Enemy, but going back to the beginning of hip hop and the message. Nipsey Hussle said hip hop has always been a revolutionary music. But yet Drake has been allowed to exist in this space. And my beef is that he's not truly hip hop if he's not speaking as the voice of Black America in the most important times. Why do we get Drake? Is Drake an industry plant? And what purpose does he serve? What purpose does Elvis Presley serve? What purpose does a Mariah Carey serve? What purpose does an Eminem serve? What purpose does a Drake serve? Thank y'all for watching. My name is Perfect Time Podcast. Click right here, watch this video. Hey, I love y'all. I'm out.